I want to talk about some things that I do that help me align my priorities. I think there's a fundamental part of being, monumentally successful. I think that you need to understand exactly what your priorities are, and then you need to curate an environment that allows you to focus on those priorities. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to keep a very clean space, a clean environment. Because what you need to understand, first and foremost, is that your environment, you are going to be a product of what your environment is, regardless if you like it or not. Okay, this is a shitty pill that you have to swallow. I agree. But what you do need to understand is you will be the product of your environment. If you just hang around potheads all day long, you're going to be a fucking loser pothead. Simple as that. If you hang out with skateboarders all day long, you're going to learn, you're going to pick up how to skateboard, and you're going to start skateboarding. Okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with this concept. The problem is people do not control their environment, which by extension doesn't give them any control over themselves, right? You can still have complete control over yourself if you just are actively pursuing to control your environment, because as soon as you control your environment, by extension, you control your output. So one of the most important things that I do is I control my environment on another level. The people that I hang out with are very specific people, okay? I try not to hang out with losers. I do hang out with a couple losers occasionally, but I don't hang out with them long enough that it actually affects me. For an example, we were going to a gym called Choose Fitness. And I know this might sound like asshole-ish. It's not the point. The point, I'm not trying to be an asshole here. I'm trying to emphasize how important controlling your environment is if you want to be successful. We were going to Choose Fitness, which is just some gym up here in Colorado. And there were people coming in that were wearing like upside down crosses and like upside down rainbow crosses, like just signifying satanicism, LGBTQ. That's fine. I don't give a fuck that you are satanic or whatever, or that you're LGBTQ. That's got nothing to do with me. I don't care. You can go and do that. But you do not need to show to the world that that's you. Because you can really look at, like, I'm going to use a little bit of offensive terms here, honestly. You can kind of see, like, those type of people. I'm not going to use offensive terms, but you can see those type of people in comparison to another type of people. You can look at, like, rich, successful, competent, capable individuals, and then you can look at them and you'd be like, okay, that makes sense. And then you could look at like the losers, and then that also makes sense. Like, what are you doing wearing a rainbow upside down cross to the gym for? Like, really? It just doesn't make sense. And so with that, it's not like it was like prim and proper, a nice fit. No, the dude had like scraggly hair. He smelled like cigarette smokes. He came in, his fucking pants were bagging down, and he looked like he hadn't showered in a month. Okay? Now, the point I'm trying to convey on this, I'm not just roasting the dude. The point I'm trying to convey on this is that we no longer go to that gym. Okay, we do not go to that gym specifically anymore, ever. And the reason why is because those type of people are going to drag you down. Even being in that environment, being in that sticky environment, you hear the people talk, right? And all they have to say are things that are just negative, right? All they do is cry and complain about politics. All they do is just cry and complain about, I don't know, just random crap stuff that's going on in their life, their family issues, like all of these issues. These type of people is just nothing but issues. And so what we did is we packed up, we closed down our subscription. We'll never go to Choose again, because I absolutely believe that if you want to be successful, you need to be around an environment that curates you to be successful. And so we packed up and we got a private membership to a private gym. And it has helped significantly, just being around people who show up to the gym in proper attire, who show up to the gym that are actually ready to hit the weight, to show up to the gym with people that are not just crying and complaining about their life all of the time, is an entirely different environment. I mean, think about it. Like I said, if you hang out with nothing but skateboarders, you're going to start picking it up subconsciously, not because you want to, but because that's just what happens. And so if I'm at the gym with a bunch of, rainbow shirt satanic devils, by all means, do that on your own time. That doesn't bother me. It doesn't offend me. But I don't want your actions to subconsciously reflect on me. I don't want that. I don't want that. I have too many important goals and things that I need to achieve. And in order for me to achieve them, I need to protect my own sanity. I need to protect my own spirit, and I need to control my environment so that I can be the product of my own design, not the creation of an uncontrolled environment. It doesn't make sense to me. And I think if you align your priorities, all you need to really do is just simply ask yourself, like, what are my priorities? Right? Like, what are my actual priorities? Do I want to have a beautiful wife? Okay, well, then you going to the gym is important, but like the gym that you go to is not important. For me, I needed to achieve 50 years worth of things in just a few years. I need to make millions and millions and millions of dollars. Okay, I do make a lot of money now. I'm worth millions, but I need to propel. I need to get further. So in order for me to do that, like, everything that I have to do shifts. It's a larger scale at which I need to align my priorities and do certain things that allow me to do that. And we cover that in some other videos. But the main point here is, like, look at your priorities and then adjust your environment to be in alignment with your priorities, right? If it's you want a really beautiful wife, okay, then what are the priorities that you need to set for yourself? Well, if you're a man, obviously, you need to go to the gym. You need to start being capable. You need to start being competent. You need to start making a lot of money. You need to dress nice. You need to do these certain things, and you'll end up with a beautiful wife, right? And if you don't do these things, then you're just going to end up settling. And then that's a sad pill to swallow as well, right? And I think majority of relationships, the man and the women end up settling because neither of them were the best versions of themselves, and that's kind of how that, derives. But you need to actually sit and be cognitively aware of what your priorities are, and then with that, develop things that you need to do that are going to help you actually achieve those things and make them true priorities. You need to cut out every single distraction that you have. I had a buddy, oh my God, he was going to be a creative director for me. The laziest person I have ever met. And what's funny is when we had communicated in the beginning, I asked him, I was like, if you work with me, I need you to understand that you need to be obsessed with money. And he said, already there with you, brother. And I was like, sweet, awesome. We might be in alignment with each other. A week goes by, we're working together. He shows up late to every single meeting. He doesn't do a single thing that I ask him to do. He, oh my gosh, would call off of work because he had to go do something with his family. He had his mom had a birthday or something and he needed to call off. Oh my God, there were so many instances where he just wasn't able to show up because he was doing stuff. He would get off of work early so that he could go to the club, or not the club, like just some bar. Like, how fucking pathetic is that? Like, is your priority to get rich? Because if it is, you're not doing a very good job at cutting out all of the distractions. All of those little things. And I know, I'm like, your mom's birthday, I know that's an important one. I get that. I totally understand that. I have a beautiful relationship with my mother, but I also understand that if you want to be monumentally successful, you need to, like, in a certain time is what I need to also convey. You need to understand what your priorities are, and then what's the time frame at which you want to achieve them. If you want to achieve what most people achieve in 50 years in 1 year, then you need a lot more sacrifice than somebody who wants to achieve what most people achieve in 50 years in 10 years time, right? There's a massive difference. And me personally, I'm just saying, this isn't for everybody. I'm not telling everybody that you need to fucking do the shit that I do. No. I'm saying I'm a little bit of a psychopath and I want to achieve 50 years in just a couple years. Okay, right? That's me. But not everybody's like that, and there's no problem with that. I'm not telling you that you need to be this way. I'm just telling you that you need to look at your priorities, establish a time frame, and then understand that the shorter the time frame, the more sacrifice comes. Okay? I have a beautiful relationship with my mother, but just because she has a birthday does not mean I'm showing up. Okay? I'll text her happy birthday. But at the same time, if I have a birthday, I expect everybody to throw me a party. No, I'm joking. If I have a birthday, I don't want to do anything on my birthday. I don't want to go out to eat. I don't want to go and celebrate. I have work to do. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I have work to do. We can celebrate next year, maybe. Okay? Anyway, main point of this video, align your priorities with a time frame, and then understand that time frame then also comes with more sacrifice based on like the length and the longevity of your priorities and the things that I do to just simply help align those priorities, I guess. Cool. I'll see you in the next video.